Well, the EFF will address a media briefing to outline its decisions following its national elective conference held at Nasrec. SABC News reporter Natasha Phiri joins us now live. A very good morning to you, Natasha. What are we expecting with regards to the address taking place later this morning?
Well, very good morning to you, Shante, and of course to our SABC viewers. Might I say happy Reconciliation Day to you all. Of course, today marks the last day of a very eventful four-day conference here in Nasrec, Johannesburg. And of course, we can expect the closing address there by the party leader, Julius Malema. And of course, what I can tell you right now is that members or EFF delegates are currently inside plenary discussing the various commissions and of course those discussion documents like the organizational reports, of course other issues like health, sports and culture, gender parity and much more issues. And of course the briefing later on should be a briefing that actually tells us what actually happened, the outcomes of those discussions that will actually take place. We anticipate the briefing to be around 1 o'clock or later than that, but of course Shante, just to take you through what actually happened yesterday, we heard the mentioning, or rather the nominations of those additional Central Command team members. As you know, that the EFF had actually amended its constitution to actually increase the Central Command team. So those members actually increased from a number of 35 to 40 members. And of course, it also speaks to the issues of gender parity. It's quite interesting to note that 22 women out of those 22 out of those 40 members are actually women, which means there actually is a representation of 54% of the CCT members. And of course, this supersedes, the policies around women, because the EFF had actually said in the discussion documents about gender parity that they'd want a 50 representation of women in all their high structures. But we actually see the EFF had actually superseded this amount to 54%. So it kind of actually speaks to the EFF being serious about gender parity, about gender representation, and more specifically of females. We also see this representation in the top 6 as well, where you have 50-50 representation of women, Shante. But of course, we will be joined by Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi later on today to just actually delve more and discuss these issues more.
Thank you very much, Natasha. We'll leave it there. We'll continue to give you updates from the last day of Nasrec. Of course, for SABC News, Natasha Phiri is on the ground covering that. Well, the family of Shiraz Mohammed